Welcome to Myth or Reality Stories. Is this story a myth and untrue, or a reality and totally true? You decide.
In the summer of 1989, an unmarked VHS tape was found in the attic of the Robinson family. No one knew how it got there. The house had been abandoned for years, and rumors circulated that the previous owner, Mr. Henry Carter, had gone missing under mysterious circumstances. Young Rebecca Robinson, curious and bored, decided to play the tape. The grainy footage began with nothing but static, but a few minutes in, the image flickered, and something came into view, a living room, eerily similar to the one she was sitting in. The camera, seemingly handheld, shook slightly as if someone was trying to record in secret. The room was empty at first, but a dark figure appeared in the corner. It was just a silhouette, motionless, watching the camera. Its outline was blurred as if the film itself was rejecting the figure, unable to capture its true form. Rebecca felt a cold chill run down her spine. Then came the whispering. The static thickened, but beneath it, a voice, faint, almost unintelligible, began to speak. Rebecca leaned in closer to the TV, trying to make sense of the words, but all she could hear were disjointed sentences. Something about joining, something about being seen. Then the tape abruptly cut off. The screen went black, and the VCR spat the tape out as if it had a mind of its own. Rebecca was frozen in place. For a moment, she thought she saw her reflection in the black screen. But it wasn't her reflection, it was the dark figure from the tape. She blinked, and it was gone. For days, strange things started happening in the Robinson house. The TV would turn on by itself in the middle of the night, always tuned to static. But within the static, Rebecca could see movement, faint, but there, like something trapped within the fuzz of the screen. At school, she heard whispers in the halls, but no one was ever there. The more she tried to ignore it, the stronger the presence became. Shadows stretched in the corners of her vision, and at night, she swore she heard footsteps pacing outside her bedroom. The VHS tape reappeared on the coffee table one morning, even though Rebecca had hidden it in the basement. Against her better judgment, she played it again. This time, the footage was different. It was still the living room, but the dark figure was gone. Instead, there was something worse. Rebecca's own reflection appeared on the screen. But she wasn't alone. Standing behind her, in the frame of the TV, was a tall, thin figure. It had no face, only a smooth, black surface where its features should be. Slowly, it reached out, its hands stretching toward the camera. And the whispering returned. "Come closer. You're almost here." Rebecca's heart pounded. The figure's hand grew closer to the screen, and for a split second, she thought it might reach through. She turned the TV off, breathing heavily. But the screen stayed on, even without power. Static swirled on the glass surface, and within the static, the figure's hand pressed against the inside of the screen, as if trying to break through. That night, Rebecca disappeared. Her parents found the TV on, playing nothing but static. The VHS tape was gone. The living room, identical to the one in the footage, was cold, like a window had been left open. But no doors or windows were unlocked. There was no sign of forced entry, no signs of a struggle. The police searched for weeks but found no trace of her. Only one thing was left, a black, faceless figure burned into the TV screen, its outline faint but unmistakable, watching from within the static. Years later, a local news station picked up a signal they couldn't explain. It was a short broadcast of grainy, distorted footage. A living room. Empty at first, then a dark figure emerging from the corner. Behind the figure was a reflection, a young girl. Rebecca Robinson, her face pale and emotionless, her eyes staring directly at the camera. Then the broadcast cut to static. And the whispering returned. Now, whenever the TV is left on too long, people claim they hear faint whispers beneath the static. They say if you listen closely, you'll hear a girl's voice. And if you see the faceless figure in the corner of your screen, you're next.
This story is a myth and totally made up by us. Please subscribe. Or else.